All right, so today we're talking about whether or not we should have another child. Another baby sounds so great, doesn't it? It does when you say it, but like, I feel like I'm torn. And I don't know if we're on the opposite ends of the spectrum here, but I want another baby at some point. Kind of, sort of. What do you think?
I would love another child. It's the best. And with the two that we have getting older, you miss those younger stages when they're newborns and so it gets, you start thinking about it and initially we were like 2 kids and that's it.
Yay!
We're done.
I know.
We thought we were finished, and then, you start thinking about it like, well, you don't want to not have another one and then regret it later on. But at the same time, there's other factors like, financially, you want to be able to make sure you can support the kids, the way they should be, and be able to give them all everything they deserve, and then there's also time, like, you want to be able to give them all, the attention that they need. So
right now we are man-to-man defense. Let's break it down. Sports, right? Man-to-man defense right now. It's every man versus every child, right? So one-on-one. But when the kids start outnumbering the adults and it's zone defense, it does become kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And not to mention when it's like me with the 2 kids or you with the 2 kids and you kind of have to split your time. I applaud people with large families. I come from a very large family. I'm one of 4, and I don't know how my mom did it, but she did. And now I'm thinking, like, the thought of having another one is so great. I love the baby stage. I love breastfeeding. I love, just seeing those little milestones or hearing about them. I was always working, so I was missing a lot of milestones. But I think with a third, I'll be there to see all those milestones. And I'm like, oh, I could catch up on what I missed and see all those things firsthand. But then I'm thinking about the work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And then, we noticed the difference from going from 1 to 2. Like, I can imagine that going from 2 to 3 is even more so.
Well, I did hear, though, that going from 1 to 2 is a lot harder than going from 2 to 3, because you have the little ones now that are already there that will keep each other company when you are with the baby. But I don't know how true that is.
These 2 don't keep each other company. They want us.
Yeah, they do. But now that our son, he's getting older, it's like he's not like a baby anymore. He's not an infant. He's a toddler. I think he's a toddler, but he's not a big toddler. He's potty trained. He's been potty trained since he was 2 years old. He's still 2. So he's been potty trained for the last few months. And so he started to become a little bit more independent. And I'm like, oh my gosh, soon he's not going to need us. And our 5-year-old, she's very, very independent. But at the same time, they're both needy in some aspects. So it's like, do we have another child or do we not have another child? And the money thing, it is expensive. Yeah. We'll have to do a lot of
You don't want to
deprive them.
You don't want to, you don't want to deprive them, but you also don't want to not have a child because of money.
Exactly.
Right. Because, ultimately at the end of the day, everything will work out. And if you have to cut back, you have to cut back.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to have like a college fund for the kids, and which we have now for the 2 we have. But then we might have to drop it back a little bit, and so it's there's a lot to think about.
I know. My mom was like, "No, don't have any more. You have 2. That's enough." And it's true, because I'm like, we have the perfect pair. We have a boy and a girl. I feel like if we have another one, and it's a girl, I'm like, oh, I want to even it out. Hopefully we could try again for a boy, and then we'll be with 4 kids, and then, what if we get 2 girls? And I'm like, oh, I want to try for one more boy.
It's not happening.
I feel like it's going to be a never-ending, like, roller coaster ride or something like that, because it is a lot. I mean, they don't see the mess that's surrounding us. We are in this little box, but it's like, we could never keep the house clean. Could you imagine having another one? We're like, how in the world? I mean, now I no longer work full-time, so we've already cut back in that regard. We don't make it as much as we were making before. I would really, really have to not be able to do a lot of things. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just hard to work when you have.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
You
I
can't
mean,
work
I know
at
some
all.
people do, but it's hard to have two parents that work when you have three kids.
Yeah, when you work full time.
Yeah, two full time
Yeah.
workers. It doesn't seem possible, especially
Now.
since where we live,
Yeah.
we both have long commutes to work. So I mean, it's especially you.
It's
Like
tough.
the odds of you getting a job close to home is like 0. So,
I know,
I
it is
mean-
true. Unless I work at like a drugstore or something like that, or
which yeah.
that's gonna happen. It's not worth it.
So-
I'm talking financially. It's not worth it for the little
Because you have
money you
to pay
make.
for you have to pay for daycare and
Yeah,
things like that.
exactly.
Doesn't equal out.
No, not at all. But I mean, I do a little work from home here and there. I still freelance. I go in here and there, but primarily I'm home more with the kids. So I would definitely have to be home more, and it would take a lot of sacrifice. And I know people do it. I mean, I grew up both parents working full time, so it can happen. But I just feel like it's a different time, and the kind of parents we want to be. We want to be very hands-on. We want to be very involved, and in order to do that, certain things have to change. So I guess are we gonna have any more kids? Is that a yes or a no?
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. We just don't know. So we just have to wait and see. How about that?
But if you have any suggestions or ideas, let us know.
Let us know. Are you done with having kids? How did you make that decision?